So as we know, Aaron Rodgers had the tweaked calf, and he should be okay. And Zach Wilson stepped in, and in Zach Wilson fashion, lit it up for a couple of days in OTAs. And I gotta say, still, when you see the clips of this kid, just in shorts and a t-shirt, I get it, throwing the football, you still see the ridiculous arm that made him the number 2 overall pick, and you're like, man, it is a thing of beauty when he throws the football, at least in practice. And now, look, okay, for me, and probably for you watching this as Jet fans, is anything Zach Wilson does that's not on an actual regular season opponent and field and a real game that matters, is anything besides that going to change my mind or my opinion of Zach Wilson? No. But guess what? Nathaniel Hackett has never seen Zach Wilson up close and personal before, and Nathaniel Hackett is not a subscriber to my channel, and he doesn't care what I think, nor should he. And Zach Wilson has a brand new staff. He's got brand new management in place, and who also is not a subscriber to the channel? Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman, Randall Cobb. So he has a damn good opportunity to start reestablishing some credibility and some reputation in the league, and it starts right now. And it's nice for me, at least as a fan, to just root for Zach Wilson as a developmental player without the pressure of like him being the starter, right? That's too much. It's too much an emotional investment, that ride was. But now that we can just take a step back, it's like, yeah, let's root for Zach Wilson. And this is step one of him getting his career back on track. And you may think, well, what do these coaches really care about OTAs or preseason? Let me tell you something. The NFL is a small circle, and Zach Wilson makes a good impression on a couple of players, on a coach, Nathaniel Hackett here. Maybe Nathaniel Hackett's somewhere else in a year or two, or somebody else on the staff is somewhere else, and they're looking for a quarterback to come in and compete. And someone's going to remember, hey, Zach Wilson killed it this summer. You see that. You see like small role players follow coaches because of small impressions that they made. That stuff definitely matters for Zach Wilson in terms of him just revitalizing his career. In terms of his prospects to be the Jets' immediate or long-term answer at quarterback, no, it doesn't mean much. But for him personally, yeah, I think it is an important first step. And on Zach Wilson and being the backup quarterback, in case you haven't heard, the NFL made a rule where teams can now kind of carry almost a 54th player, it seems like, as a third quarterback, but they can only play that third quarterback in case of emergency. So they not like benching or not bringing a guy in for a wildcat package. You can only use this quarterback. It's a break glass in case of emergency kind of thing. Essentially the 49ers rule, right, where the NFL saw a playoff game become unwatchable because of multiple quarterback injuries. So I think it's a good rule. I personally don't understand why NFL teams can carry 53 players but can't dress 53 on game day. Never made any sense to me, but that's definitely a step in the right direction. And for Zach, again, if we view Zach through the lens last year of this is our guy, we expect to be in that Josh Allen, Joe Burrow tier of quarterback, yes, he was bad. But if you just view him as your backup quarterback, Zach Wilson is probably fine as your backup quarterback. Now, if the Jets want to go ahead and add a Teddy Bridgewater, yeah, I'm always a proponent of looking at every spot on the roster to get deeper. So if the Jets add competition or veteran competence to the backup quarterback position, having an older starter, I'm all for that. Let's do it. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I'm always the one preaching to, go ahead and get better and leave no stone unturned. But if they do not do that, I don't think it's the end of the world that Zach Wilson is a backup quarterback. Number one, if our offensive coaching staff is better, which it damn well better be, he should be better. Not elite, but he should be 20% better on that fact alone. If the coaching staff changes that we made, we're worth it. Number one. Now, I jotted down a couple of the games just that I remember. And now let's remove the expectation that Zach Wilson's going to be the future franchise savior, number 2 overall pick, and just say, okay, this is our backup quarterback. And how would you view these performances? I don't know, comes out there against, was it Pittsburgh? Looks pretty shoddy, completing just over 50% of his passes, has a pretty brutal first half pick, but then goes beast mode in the fourth quarter, game-winning touchdown drive, you get the win. Are you looking to replace again, that it still wasn't a great overall game from a starter, but are you looking to replace your backup after a fourth quarter comeback? No, you're not. What, Miami, when they face another backup and the offense hangs a 40 burger? Breece Hall is doing a lot of that, but Zach Wilson played a turnover-free game, hit the easy passes, play within the rhythm of the offense. Right. In games like Green Bay, didn't have to do much. The special teams and Breece Hall did it, but Zach Wilson in a lot of these games like Buffalo just kind of avoided the big mistakes. So again, a lot of these games, if you look at Zach Wilson you're expecting him to be a really good starter and compete in a stacked AFC conference. Yeah, those performances are not good enough. I'm not doing revisionist history on that. But to me, the only games that you look at and you're like, oh, that'd be horrible if, I don't know, Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Allen, who are the backups for the Chiefs and Bills respectively, like would Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Allen have done better than that last year? I mean, Zach Wilson faced backup quarterbacks last year, and Brett Rippon and Skylar Thompson, we won both of those games. And do we feel like Skylar Thompson or Brett Rippon were any better than Zach Wilson? So the only games really, it's probably the Patriots game, like that second one, yeah, that he looked like he didn't even belong in the league at all. Even the first Patriots game, 3 brutal picks. I get it. But if your backup quarterback, if Kyle Allen goes out there for the Bills, Kyle Allen's out there and he goes out there and faces Bill Belichick's defense and he throws for 358 yards, 2 touchdowns and 3 picks, you're like, all right, that's kind of a Kyle Allen game, right? The Bills could live with that. So I think if we remove the name of Zach Wilson and you just look at that and that's what you're getting as your backup quarterback, it's not great. And you should always look to get better. But I do think Zach Wilson should be able to be a competent backup this year. The biggest component is mentally. If Aaron Rodgers just have to miss like one game and he has to come out there with the same fans and the same expectation and he's coming in for Aaron Rodgers, mentally you wonder if he's up to the task. But just, as a backup quarterback in a vacuum, I think he's all right. And rooting for him, whether it's with the Jets or someone else, I hope his career does get back on track. Unless he goes to New England or Buffalo or Miami, then I hope he sucks forever. Go Jets.